Palantir, Tesla, Fubo, and PayPal stock. We got big news in regards to all four of these stocks. This video here today is just going to focus on these four stocks, what's going on with these. I want to share my opinions and perspectives on the big news in regards to all four of these. And yeah, appreciate everybody joining me as always. Thanks so much for being here. Thank you for being subscribed to the channel, folks. Okay, first off, obviously, it's been a tremendous year for Palantir stock. I think we all know that by now, right? 180%-ish. You know, we'll see where this year finishes up, but it could be up close to 200% year to date. It's been absolutely phenomenal. But with that being said, the stock has started to get weak very recently, as in the past few weeks or so. This is a 1 month for Palantir stock. Stock's actually down almost 9 percentage points. If you back it up to right about here, the stock's down double digits, right? And the reason this weakness has transpired in regards to Palantir stock, despite the market actually being very nice here recently, the reason this weakness has happened is because there's a bearish analyst out there. And this bearish analyst has said, in regards to an Army contract, it is not going to be renewed at anywhere remotely close to the previous value. And he has said that, you know, Palantir used to make $100 million plus from this deal a year, and now they're only going to make, you know, based upon what I saw his estimates, it looks like $50 to $60 million a year. And so this has led a lot of people to be very concerned about this deal and Palantir's dealings with the government and what's going on here, and could they potentially, like, you know, lose revenue opportunities from the government, right? And this has led, obviously, a lot of momentum to come out of stock, and a lot of people to sell the stock and put a lot of selling pressure on the stock. You don't get the stock to go from 21 bucks to actually just a few days ago was trading at 17. You don't get that sort of drop without a lot of people kind of being fearful of what's going on here and concerned, and selling pressure to come on the stock, okay? So that happens, right? But then we get the big news here today. And the big news in regards to this contract comes out. And did we see what he said he thought we would see, okay? And here's what actually happened. Well, Palantir stock pushes higher on $115 million Army contract extension. Wow. Palantir said Friday it received a 1-year extension on a contract with the U.S. Army worth up to $115 million. Oh, interesting. The analytics and artificial intelligence company is powering a data operations program called Army Vantage. The $115 million contract includes $35.6 million in initial funding and an award of $97.4 million, Palantir said. Now, this is very intriguing because the previous contract, okay, this is where things get really interesting. Palantir garners nearly 60% of its revenue from government agencies. Obviously, we know the commercial business is growing and should continue to grow substantially and become a much bigger component of their business, but the government's still extremely important to Palantir, right? The previous deal between Palantir and the Army was for 4 years, $458 million. Palantir's news release described the extension as evidence of the company's, quote, success in empowering U.S. military decision makers with actionable insights and advanced analytical capabilities through the delivery of our secure and open data environment, end quote. Now, 4 years, $458 million. So let's do a little math on that. What is that? Well, that's a little less than $115 million a year. In the Palantir contract, $115 million. Interesting, right? So there's no cut. There's no cut, like the analyst had said. Like, oh, there's going to be a cut, this and that, right? Raymond James analyst Brian G., we'll call him, called the extension a chill pill for bears after worries, according to MarketWatch. Concerns about whether the contract value would be renewed at the same value pushed Palantir stock down last week. All in, the win is in line with our expectations and provides the Army another year to formalize structure for a successor multi-vendor contract, said the analyst who wrote that, right? Now, on the other hand, William Blair, the Louis De Palma, the analyst that was, you know, bearish on Palantir and started all this drama here, okay, he highlighted that the contract is shorter. True. It's a 1-year deal versus a 4-year deal. Indicative of a plan in the works to split the Army Vantage platform among multiple vendors. Not only was the duration of the new contract reduced, but the max annual run rate was even slightly downsized from the prior $116 million revenue run rate. What are we talking about here? The previous contract was 114.5, right? If the calculator is correct. So, and we're 115. We're right there, okay? This seeing something like this basically makes me say this analyst seems desperate for a bear case in regards to Palantir. I mean, this is fair, okay? Saying, okay, 4 years before, it's 1 year now. That's fair. This is desperation. Absolute desperation. Like, even pointing something like that when we're 114.5. Like, that's just like, come on, man. De Palma wrote on Friday, De Palma holds an underperform rating on the stock, believing its valuation compared with its cash flow is too high, right? Okay, fair. But this is desperate. This is fair. You want to talk about Palantir's valuation, you feel like it's that. You want to talk about 1 year versus 4 year, fair. This is desperate, okay? So, now, my thing in regards to this, okay, one is we got another year for basically the same amount of money, per year. And who knows about all the speculation about splitting in multi-vendors and this and that, right? Could be disadvantages to the Army doing that, and who knows if they even do that, right? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see about that. And also, let's say Palantir gets less from this deal. Who's to say it's going to be $60 million or $50 million? What if it's $100 million, $105 million? And that's assuming Palantir even loses out on some opportunity here. But here's my other thing, and I think this is even bigger in regards to this, right? We're arguing over breadcrumbs. In the grand scheme of things, we're arguing over breadcrumbs, right? This analyst, this and that, and this and that. It's all breadcrumbs. Let's say, hypothetically, Palantir gets less from this contract with the Army. And let's say it is $50 million less a year they're making off this deal than they were making before, right? Which is a substantial number, you would think, $50 million. Well, is it really? 2027, this company should do well over $5 billion of revenue. This is like, in the grand scheme of things, this is pennies. This is breadcrumbs, right? In the next 10 years, Palantir should be at a run rate of $10 billion plus revenue. So, I don't know, man. We can argue over these breadcrumbs and are we going to get this much or that much? At the end of the day, it's little money, man. And so me as a Palantir shareholder, right? Am I losing sleep over this situation? And the answer is absolutely not. Palantir's got a phenomenal balance sheet, one of the best in the world. They're clearly a growth company, even in a tough environment, which they've been in the last couple of years, where a lot of folks just haven't wanted to spend in these sorts of products. They just got their product to be able to be shown off and get customers excited now in a matter of days, instead of months previously. Like, I lose no sleep thinking about Palantir stock. I can tell you that much. The rest of this is just a show. It's just a spectacle. That's all it is. Oh my God, this deal, that deal, that. It's all spectacle, okay? As long as the long term's headed where I think it's headed, we're looking good here, okay? Now, next up here, Tesla. Speaking about spectacles, Tesla's always a spectacle, right? And, several big news items that we got to touch on here. One is, and this one I can't even believe I got to talk about, but I got to talk about it. This happened 2 days ago. Oh my gosh, all over the internet, it's gone viral. Tesla recalls nearly all 2 million of its vehicles on U.S. roads. Holy smokes, this ain't no dang jokers. This was everywhere, man. Every big mainstream media picked this up. Everybody was sharing it out there. Holy smokes. By the way, automakers have recalls all the time. And it never makes headlines, but Tesla, once again, it's like the most viral thing ever, okay? So they got this recall, right? And everybody's talking about this and making it out like it's such a big deal. And, oh my gosh, this is going to cost Tesla a fortune and this and that, right? It's an over-the-air update. An over-the-air update. Are you kidding me? The fix, the recall, it's an over-the-air update? I mean, geez, you would have thought Tesla needed to replace all the cars or something like that, the way mainstream media made it sound. Wasn't the flip and flash? And then what are the details around this? Which I think is really important. Like, what actually happened here, okay? Here's the details. In accordance with the recent recall, all the numbers are there, Tesla is making the following improvements to auto steer. Improved visibility of driver monitoring warning alerts on the touchscreen by increasing the text size and moving the notifications to a more prominent position in the Model 3 and Model Y only. Added option to activate autopilot features with a single stalk depression instead of two. So previously you would have to hit it two, I guess, and that's with some models. Now you hit it one time. To help simplify activation and disengagement, which I do agree with that personally, because and that's something you don't even have in all the vehicles, but there's certain ones you do have. For instance, the Model X is like that. The Model X is like that. The 2020 Model X I have. So that one, if you wanted to do autopilot, you had to hit it twice. Now, one time, this even actually happened to me. I accidentally only hit it once, and it went on to, basically where, what would we call it? The thing, cruise control. But it didn't activate the steering. And then I put it on that because I needed to look, I think I needed to look at my phone or something real quick or grab something in the car. And next thing you know, the car started swerving. And I was like, oh, what the heck? And I just realized, oh, shoot, I only hit it one time. I didn't activate it twice. So therefore, the car started swerving, and whatever. So I think that's in my opinion, based upon how I understand that, I think that's intelligent. Increase the strictness of driver attentiveness requirements when using auto steer and approaching traffic lights and stop signs and signs off highway. Okay. Introduced a suspension policy that will restrict auto steer usage for 1 week if improper usage is detected. Oh, okay. Interesting. Improper usage is when you or another driver of your vehicle receive 5 forced autopilot disengagements. Interesting. Okay. This is real rules and regulations here, okay? Interesting. You are the driver. As a driver, you must be vigilant on the road, keep your hands on the wheel, and ready to intervene to maintain safety. Yeah. So, this is like the biggest sleepy story that made mainstream media ever. My gosh, it's an over-the-air update. There's nothing like, oh, wow, this is game-changing. But once again, it's Tesla, so it makes the headlines, okay? That's that. This is a bigger deal, much bigger deal, in my personal opinion. And this came out, there's been a lot of talk about this in the last 48 hours or so. Tesla to lose $7,500 consumer tax credit for some Model 3 vehicles. Okay, what the heck is going on here? Well, out of Reuters here, but everybody's covered this. Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive and long-range vehicles will lose up to $7,500 federal tax credit on December 31st, based on new guidance under the U.S. Inflation Reduction Act. A message the U.S. automaker's website showed late Tuesday. The U.S. Treasury issued guidelines earlier this month detailing new battery sourcing restrictions to take effect January 1st, aimed at weaning the U.S. electric vehicle supply chain away from China. Okay. Tax credit will end Model 3 rear-wheel drive and Model 3 long-range on December 31st, 2023, based on current view of the new IRA guidance. Take delivery by December 31st for full tax credit, Tesla's saying on the website. Now, okay, so, and by the way, in April, the Treasury said new guidelines will slash credits for the EV maker. Okay. Listen, okay? I think Tesla's using this, my personal opinion is, I think Tesla's using this as a little bit of a sales bump. I think Tesla's going to make some adjustments likely, and next year they'll likely be able to get their tax credit again. I think they're right now using this as like, oh, the government's going to take this away from us, so you better order now. Which, by the way, I do personally believe if you are in the market for a Model 3, Model Y, you better freaking buy now. That's my personal opinion. Between the tax credits, because I'm telling you, if this economy starts getting healthier in 2024 and into 2025, Tesla's going back up on those cars. They're going to go back up. Their margins will revert back up again. That's what they will do. You just watch. And so all I'm saying is if you're in the market for the vehicle, I would get it. But I do believe that Tesla's using this as a little bit of a sales ploy. Of like, oh, the government's taking this away from us. You better get it now or you're not going to get your $7,500. That's my belief. I believe Tesla will make adjustments. And next thing you know, next year, they'll have the same tax credits that all the other EV players have. So that's just my thought process on this. I think other changes will be made. Something will happen and Tesla will be fine. But for right now, Tesla's going to use that up. So people want to order as many Model 3s and stuff into the year end, right? Because obviously Tesla's in the business of as much volume as possible, right? So Tesla, I think, using this to their advantage. That's my opinion on that, okay? Next up here, this came out here today. Tesla secures $135 million in incentive for Gigafactory Mexico despite delaying the factory. Tesla has secured roughly $135 million worth of incentives for Gigafactory Mexico despite the delay in construction of the factory, right? And my belief is, I do believe that factory is still happening, by the way. I believe, yeah, we'll see, but I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. I would just put it like that. And the reason being is I'm looking at the United States situation here, and I don't think it's a good one for the auto sector for the next 10 to 20 years. UAW is out there fighting everybody right now. They're asking for, they've obviously got Ford, GM, and these other guys to obviously up their wages substantially, right? Which is going to raise basically the cost of making a vehicle substantially. Because who's actually paying? Ford, GM, all these workers, great, they make a bunch more money. Okay, cool. Who's paying for that? Is it going to be Ford and GM? Is it going to be UAW? Who's paying for it? You're paying for it. You're paying for it. The next time you go buy a new F-150, you're going to pay for it the next time you go buy a Tahoe, something like that. And maybe you're not going to buy that. Buy a Model X instead, okay? And then buy a Cybertruck. But let's say hypothetically you were going to buy, the consumer is the one that's going to pay for that. You think Ford and GM are just going to say, oh, yeah, we'll take the hit on that? No, of course not. They're going to go up on price, which, by the way, is going to hurt their downfall even more in a substantial way when you got Tesla being very aggressive on price. And then these guys are going to, if anything, go up on price, right? And so the bottom line is UAW, this came out this week, right, files unfair labor charges against Volkswagen, Hyundai, and Honda as well. I just don't see this situation getting better, really. And I think this is going to hurt the auto sector in the United States of America substantially. I think you're going to see production move down to Mexico substantially over the next 10 years. We won't see it next year. It's going to happen over the next 10 years. And don't be surprised if the amount of vehicles made inside the United States drops substantially over the next decade. And I mean substantially. And just watch what's going to happen in Mexico. The amount of vehicles made in Mexico over the next 10 years will likely go up substantially. It's going to be a 10-year game, though, but you just watch. I'm watching everything play out, and I see the future in regards to what's going to happen here, okay? And I can tell you, it's going down to Mexico. That's what I'll put in regards to that. Now, in the Patreon portfolio this week, by the way, I bought Tesla stock. I bought Tesla stock in the Patreon portfolio this week, which goes to show you kind of my belief in kind of what's going on with Tesla and the opportunity there. By the way, I made moves also in the Patreon portfolio today. You want to see that? Check out the description area down there, and you can see access to all the moves. I did buy 2 growth stocks in there here today, okay? Now, Fubo. So Fubo, this news came out here this week. Milwaukee Bucks partner with Fubo. Then we'll get to PayPal. The Milwaukee Bucks and Fubo, the leading sports first live TV streaming platform, have partnered to bring exclusive benefits to Bucks fans throughout the 2023-2024 season. Fubo streams Bucks games aired on Bally Sports, Wisconsin, ABC, ESPN, NBA TV, in addition to coverage of the NBA and other events. Fubo also streams popular live events, blah, blah, blah. As part of the partnership, current Bucks season ticket members will receive an exclusive free 30-day trial from Fubo via email. All other Bucks fans can enjoy a free 14-day trial of Fubo. Pretty cool. Fubo gives Bucks fans another option to stream our games throughout the season, said the Bucks chief business and strategy officer. We're excited to partner with Fubo to bring exclusive benefits to our fans, right? And so, I just see Fubo continue to kind of partner with different teams. They got a lot of these press releases coming out and things like that. And the thing for Fubo, like, why are they doing all this? Why do you see all these press releases either from NBA-related things or MLB in the past months, or even like the Pac-12 and different things like that, right? You're seeing all these announcements. The reason they're doing it is because it attracts more attention to Fubo, right? And we know Fubo is focused on sports first. Like, that's their big, like, I would say almost like competitive advantage versus everybody else. So they're like if you're a big sports fan, they're the best, right? And so that's what it's about. It's about bringing more and more customers to Fubo ultimately and giving them free trials, and you get this incentive and free month and all these sorts of things. And then people use it and they like the service and they cancel their cable or their satellite and they go with Fubo, right? So I think it's ingenious because at the end of the day, their competitive advantage is really sports, right? Now, this is something I think is going to be really important in the next earnings, right? And this came out way back in October 10th. I don't know if anybody even paid attention to this. David Gandler put it on his Twitter, which I don't think that many people follow on there. But anyways, he said, the Fubo data center, the engine that drives our platform, is now open. By centralizing our data, we'll be able to improve the speed and quality of our streams while lowering cloud compute and broadcasting and transmission cost. Goal is always improve UX while focusing on operating expenses. So I don't know. I don't want to put a dollar number on how much this is going to help, but I think it's going to be something important to pay attention to the next time Fubo reports earnings in terms of like how much this help, because this will be the first quarter. The next quarter they report, this will be the first quarter where this was actually used, and we'll see what happens there. Okay, that should be really intriguing. Okay. No, PayPal. We got some big news out of PayPal on a couple different fronts. First one is, before we get into the other big news, is it does look like Dan Schulman is stepping down from the board, from what I saw, at the end of this year. So, very soon here, essentially, okay, which is kind of going to Dan Schulman's obviously gone as CEO, and Alex Christ has taken over. It basically wipes away the Dan Schulman era, which it seems like PayPal wants to wipe away that error. I think they're just kind of everybody kind of involved maybe is a little disappointed in his rate of innovation there, and just kind of like stagnation. And that's how it feels, at least from kind of what I see. Okay, first big news outside of that in regards to PayPal is PayPal and SAP, which SAP is a giant, to partner to simplify digital payments for businesses. PayPal and SAP have launched an expanded integration to simplify digital payments for SAP customers. Ooh! The collaboration involves the creation of a digital payments plugin for the PayPal Braintree platform. Now, everybody talks about PayPal and Venmo, right? That's what PayPal owns, PayPal and Venmo. But Braintree is so important to this story, and it's such a huge reason why I'm investing in this company actively right now. And it doesn't get enough attention, but I'm just telling you, this business is going to be so important for this next 10 years for PayPal, okay? Which built on SAP, it's Braintree to me is like AWS for Amazon. But the difference is no one's paying attention to Braintree today. 5 or 10 years from now, everybody will be paying attention to Braintree the same way that if we went back 10 years ago, no one paid attention to AWS. And now everybody pays. AWS is the most important thing when you look at Amazon's business model. PayPal's Braintree platform, which is built on SAP Business Technology Platform, the company said in a Thursday press release, as businesses face increasing demands for compliance requirements for payments, many have turned to digital wallets, automated clearinghouses, ACH payments, and credit cards for corporate transactions, according to the release. That's why PayPal teamed up with SAP to develop the PayPal Braintree digital payments app, providing consistent standard access for SAP customers to connect with PayPal's payment processing solutions, said the vice president of channel partnerships at PayPal. The PayPal Braintree digital payments connector allows SAP customers to leverage these funding sources, reducing costs and complexity, the release said. The PayPal Braintree platform offers a wide range of payment choices, including PayPal, Venmo, credit cards and debit cards, and popular digital wallets such as, all the digital wallets out there. Plus, per the release, this comprehensive integration streamlines payment processing and provides a unified solution for managing various payment methods. To facilitate the integration, PayPal developed a digital payments plugin for the PayPal Braintree platform using SAP BTP, according to the press release. SAP BTP combines data analytics, artificial intelligence, application development, automation, and integration into one unified environment. The plugin enables SAP customers, which they got a lot of customers, to easily manage payments online. The collaboration between SAP and PayPal brings numerous benefits to SAP customers, the release said. By connecting to PayPal through the plugin, businesses can experience increased efficiency, cost savings, security, and transparency, and maybe more business. The plugin seamlessly integrates with SAP software environments, ensuring a smooth and certified integration process through the SAP Integration and Certification Center, per the release. It's great to see that technology companies like PayPal use SAP BTP to develop standard adapters that our customers and partners can use during implementation for a consistent customer experience and reduce complexity. So, overall, great news, right? And if you didn't know, in regards to Braintree, I mean, they already have a lot of big customers. Airbnb, GitHub, they got huge partnerships with actually Meta, Yelp, Dropbox, Six Flags, yeah, I mean, Uber. I mean, major players out there, right? And so this is just great to see the Braintree side. And I think, one of the reasons Alex Chris was brought in is not just to help with innovation when it comes to PayPal and Venmo. I think one of the big reasons he was brought in is because of this Braintree opportunity, which for PayPal, this Braintree opportunity is as big as anything they got going on, and no one really talks about it. But he comes from Intuit. He knows business. He knows small business, mid-sized business. He knows you need to have everything be connected, seamless experiences. Ease of use is everything, right? And if you look at what they've done with QuickBooks over the years and their TurboTax products and all that at Intuit, it's all about ease of use, having it be the least complex you can possibly make it. So it's just easy. It just works, and it's just a magical experience. And so I believe that's what he's trying to bring to the Braintree side. And I think long term, I think it's not just going to be about attracting the biggest customers to Braintree, but I think they're going to go down market. I think it's going to be a lot of mid companies. I think even small businesses longer term. And so it's just very exciting times. And it's not talked about, man. It's not talked about nearly enough, but it should be. So when it comes to PayPal, the stock has started to roll a little bit here. I mean, it went from just over $50 to now $60+ pretty quickly. I'm hoping it chills a little bit more. I should have my position fully built out at some point in the first quarter. And then from there, I should just be able to kind of hold it, unless, I still see it as a massive opportunity, which under 100 is a massive opportunity. But, I'm hoping this baby just kind of still stays a little chill here for just a little bit longer so I can buy shares. And then once we go over cost basis, then the fun starts, okay? Appreciate everybody joining me as always. Thanks so much for being here, folks. If you're looking to apply, join my private group. Check out the description area down there. You can fill out an application. We can maybe get you in there next week. If you're looking to join my Patreon, see the moves I was making out there. I bought some growth stocks in there here today. One of those stocks was spoken about here today in the video. One of those stocks was not. Then you can check out the pinned comment down there. Join me in the Patreon and see the moves I'm making each and every week, exactly how I build a portfolio. And this is the last opportunity really to join in there before the end of the year, pretty much. I mean, we only got a couple weeks left, and I am probably going to go up on price for the bottom tier, likely January 1st. So just something to keep in mind there. Just be aware of that. But once people are grandfathered in, they're grandfathered in. Much love and have a great day.